Weeknight poblano and corn pasta is on the menu, and let me tell you, minimal ingredients, minimal effort, high on the flavor scale. We're gonna go through each step because I want you to make this just like I made it so you can know how easy it is. Let's go. I like to think this is like a 30-minute meal, but I really do believe it can be. It's a weeknight meal and it's really delicious and it just has a lot of flavor with simple ingredients. So I'm getting my onion ready because this is going to cook with sausage to really have a lot of flavor. But first what I want to do is make sure we can start the process of cooking the pasta because pretty much in the time it takes this pasta to cook, we can almost do everything else. So I have my water pretty much at a boil. We're using a rigatoni. I like how they grab onto the simple sauce we're gonna create. I like the shape, I like that it has the tubes that can really pull in the flavor. But just make sure, whenever you're gonna cook a pasta, what do? You salt the water. This is your one chance to make sure you can season the pasta. It's the only chance you get. And then you throw in the pasta. I'm gonna let that cook. While that's cooking, I'm gonna get my skillet ready, a big skillet, and we're gonna put in our sausage. Sausage is a great weeknight staple when it comes to things like pastas because it has so much flavor already. It has the really good, when you get a good quality sausage, it has the spices, it has herbs. And to this, while I break it up into pieces, I'm gonna add all that onion I just chopped so they can really cook together until it's fully browned. The sausage is almost done, so we just wanna get ready our poblanos. Now I'm pulling them in from the garden, but they can be found in a grocery store too. What I like about poblano peppers, while they do have obviously a little bit of spice, they're not extremely spicy, but they have so much good immense flavor that I think it just goes so well with everything we're using. The sausage, we're gonna throw some corn in with it. This is really inspired by a dish I had in a restaurant that just kind of stuck with me. You know when those things stick with you and you just wanna somehow recreate them? That's what this is doing. Now, poblanos when I grow them can kind of look all sizes. This is more traditional. They do turn red if you keep them out in the garden. A lot of times they're used green, so it just depends how you wanna use them, but you can use the red ones too. Sometimes they're a little malformed like this, but more traditionally they look like this. So I'm gonna take all these beautiful poblanos and I'm going to put them right into now that sausage mixture. Now usually sausage has some fat in it, which is what you want because that's gonna actually help these cook. It's gonna add so much flavor. If for some reason you feel like your sausage is extra lean because you're using maybe a chicken sausage or something, you can always add a little bit of oil to the pan. But you can see this is actually picking up perfectly, and these are now gonna soften in the time here that we're about gonna finish our pasta. So you can see this is now just softening that poblano. That's what we're doing. Now, if you feel like your pan is getting dark anywhere, you can always deglaze it. I would just take a little bit, small amount of pasta water, which has that starch in it, pour it right on, see how it just gets nice and foamy, and then you can just start working up that brown. And those bits of flavor are just gonna go right into it, which you can do it at the end too when you add the pasta. It's a nice little hint anytime you want to. That pasta water is a great deglazing mechanism. Salt and pepper it, always. Your sausage will have some salt, but you definitely want to layer it as you're doing it. I like a little pepper too. It's a different type of spice than a poblano will be. And then what we're gonna do is add some corn. Now I'm using my home frozen and canned corn, but you can buy frozen corn, canned corn. What this does is it offers those little hints of sweetness and works perfectly with that poblano. And now we're gonna add in our heavy cream. Now, it's a lot of heavy cream, but this is a lot of pasta. And what this is gonna do is create a creamy sauce with really nothing extra at all, no extra additives, just good heavy cream. I'm gonna let that just come to a simmer and cook a bit before we add the pasta. I just checked the pasta, it's al dente. So in the time we've gotten to the cream step, it's al dente, which means it has just a little bit of bite because I wanna finish it right in there. I cut off the piece. I didn't take a bite from that piece of pasta and throw it in. I cut it off with a knife. So now what I'm gonna do is just take a strainer and I am just going to see how it's simmering in there. That's thickening up that cream. We're gonna now just put in the pasta, which will have some of that water clinging to it, which I love because that is starchy water that is gonna just thicken in this beautiful array. And with this, as I stir it together, I'm gonna add some freshly grated Parmesan cheese. So imagine that melty cheese and cream all getting worked together. This is gonna be good. And do you see how this is a weeknight meal? I just turned it off. It's been simmering just for about a minute or two. And what that does is it finish cooking the pasta in the sauce, which means it's actually finishing from that al dente stage to perfectly cooked and kind of soaking it up and becoming creamier. I mean, look at this. That thickness and richness and viscosity it has. It looks so good and it's so simple. This is a great weeknight thing. What's great is too, those peppers are really being tempered with the heavy cream. The corn, that sweetness, imagine that play of flavor going on. So this is when you serve it up and you can eat it. And it is, I just think it's comforting. It has elements of summer with some of that fresh produce still. Obviously the corn may not be like fresh, but maybe depending where you live, you can still get it. It just kind of depends. And then when you're serving it, I would always say, as I think you would agree, a little bit of cheese on top. Why? Because we live once and it's just best to enjoy everything to the fullest. And I think fresh cheese on top always does that. So what I'm gonna make sure I get is a piece of pepper, because I love them, a nice piece of pasta. It's so good. I think what's great about it, I think you'll agree, each flavor is represented and you can actually taste it. This isn't being overpowered by any one thing. You're getting that hit of poblano, you're getting the sweetness of the corn. The sausage, of course, is a full flavored sausage. And it all mixes together with that cream that just brings it together. Simple ingredients, minimal ingredients, and honestly close to pantry staples other than maybe the poblano. And that's what I love about this. It uses such great things that you can have a weeknight meal in a matter of minutes that is, dare I say, restaurant worthy. It's gonna make you happy, it's gonna make you nourished, and it's gonna keep you full, and that's what's important. So share this video around, because I think everyone should know how easy it is to make good food at home. Check my website, wyseguide.com. For the full recipe, you can print it off, you can save it, and go back to it time and again. Enjoy.